Taxpayers in this country are spending nearly $800 billion on economic stimulus. Well, actually, it's probably the Chinese who are spending it. We're borrowing it. How much of that is going to small business? The sector that has actually created 94% of the new jobs over the past 18 years. Only $1 billion. Is it too little, too late to get the jobs we need? Here now, Lloyd Chapman, president and founder of the American Small Business League, along with Giovanni Cortallo, vice president for small business policy at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. It's very good to have both of you with us, and we appreciate it. Let's start with you, Giovanni. Is this anywhere near enough money?
Well, we supported the stimulus package, and it was absolutely imperative that we pass something that was timely, targeted, and temporary. Now, the stimulus package had its faults. It wasn't a perfect bill, but it was the right thing at the right time, and it is working. A lot of that, more than $1 billion, is going to small businesses.
Lloyd, would you say it's working?
Absolutely not. One of your previous guests said that half the GDP comes from small businesses. As you said, over 95% of all new jobs come from small businesses. To put it into perspective, small businesses have gotten around 0.2% of all the bailout funds, where Wall Street executives got, I think, $18.4 billion last year. Small businesses are getting less than $1 billion. It's just, it's ridiculous.
And I want you to be honest here, because I know Giovanni will have an answer. You wanted to know why Giovanni was even here today, right?
Absolutely. You know, in the last 70 years, there's been 12 federal investigations that found the largest problem facing the Small Business Administration was the diversion of up to $100 billion a year in federal small business contracts to large businesses. The U.S. Chamber hasn't said a word in 1 year.
Well, Lloyd, you know, 95% of small businesses are not government contractors, and thank God. They're retailers. They work hard. And we polled our small business members, and they said that access to capital and tax breaks were very important to small business. Now, I thought we were talking about the stimulus package. A lot of that stimulus funds are indirectly getting to small businesses. I went out last week and bought an energy-efficient door and window for my house, and there's a small business contractor that benefited directly from my purchase. I got the benefit of the funds. They got the work. We have $7.2 billion in stimulus funds going to broadband internet for rural areas. I know a lot of small businesses that are our members that they could use broadband in order to compete with the rest of the world because we have a global economy.
Giovanni, is it fair to say, I know, you know, when we're looking at how, I mean, obviously groups like yours, the Chamber of Commerce, are very powerful when it comes to influencing Washington and how to spend these stimulus funds. I mean, do small businesses have a real voice with the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, absolutely. We are all business organization, and just to think that we can divide businesses between small, medium, and large, that gets you nowhere. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is launching an effort, a free enterprise effort. We need to make sure that enterprise is something that is the backbone of our society, and small business is the heart of that effort. We need to make sure that private enterprise is what leads us out of this economy. And that stimulus package does have some things, very good things in it for small business.
Lloyd, but you're saying that they needed direct assistance. Now that's one thing to say, but how do you implement that given the fact that so many small businesses in this country really have 5 or fewer employees?
Notice that Giovanni thinks it's great that the companies that are responsible for half the GDP and over 95% of all the new jobs are getting less than 1% of the bailout bill. Notice how he thinks that's just fine.
I didn't say that, Lloyd. I didn't say that. $1 billion went to loans.
Let me ask you right now, Giovanni. Let me ask you right now.
A lot of this went to...
Do you agree that it's a good idea for 99% of the bailout money to go to large corporations when small businesses...
Absolutely not, and it's not going to large corporations. In order to incentivize the economy,
Giovanni.
Well, it is going to small businesses.
Really?
It's not a perfect package. It's not a perfect package. 1% is not
perfect.
Yeah, you know, you should take a remedial math course because
give me a break.
55 billion, 10% of the stimulus package goes to AMT relief, which helped 20 million small business, 20 million people. A lot of those are small businesses.
Giovanni, let me ask you one question.
Lloyd, does he have a point there? Does he have a point that when you actually, things that directly affect small business is greater than the $1 billion we're giving direct credit for?
The bottom line is...
The bottom line, Lloyd, is you have
Giovanni,
a few
the bottom line
customers.
Is 95%
you have a few
of all new
members
jobs
that
are created by
very small.
businesses.
Hold on, one at a time. Go ahead,
Giovanni,
Lloyd, then Giovanni respond.
The bottom line is 95% of all jobs in this country are created by small businesses. They're responsible for half the GDP. The truth is they've gotten less than 1% of the bailout money, and you think that's great. Let me ask Giovanni one question.
Not.
Let me ask him one
First
question.
Of all,
Giovanni, one question, Giovanni. Can you answer one question for me?
Hold on, Lloyd. You can ask him a question, but you got to keep it short, okay?
All right.
So that and give him a chance to answer it.
Giovanni, will the U.S. Chamber of Commerce support legislation to stop the flow of federal small business contracts to Fortune 500 corporations? Yes or no?
Yes, we supported a regulation issued by the SBA that has stemmed that tide. You have to get your figures right because
Giovanni, I've got my figures right.
Hold on, let him
you're
finish,
using old data for that. And it's not all businesses. You try to represent 2 or 3% of small businesses.
Giovanni,
and that's
that wasn't
not
my question.
That wasn't my question. Do you support health care? Do you support tax relief?
Giovanni, my
Do you
question
support
was
regulatory
yes or
relief?
no.
Are you fighting
legislation?
These are the important things to our members.
Yeah. He didn't answer my question. Yes or no?
We supported
legislation. He said yes, didn't he?
We supported a regulation by the SBA
That's not my question.
that stemmed the tide
That's not
of
my
these
question,
contracts
Giovanni.
Hold on, Lloyd.
That's not
What
my
was your question? Your question was, does he support legislation, right?
Will the Chamber support legislation to stop the flow of federal small business contracts to Fortune 500 corporations? Yes or no?
Why didn't you support the SBA regulation
notice how he's not answering
that
my
limited
question.
that?
Notice how he's not answering the question.
Because the regulation is counterproductive. Why does this have to revolve around government contracting?
And I got to be honest, and I think a lot of our viewers are probably interested by how this conversation has gone, is why there appears to be such tension between big and small business. So many Americans tend to lump them all together. Lloyd?
Well, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce lobbies for Fortune 500 corporations. That's where they get all their money. Everybody knows that. And Giovanni doesn't represent small business anymore than McDonald's represents cows.
Well, 96%.
Notice how Giovanni.
They kill cows, but
96% of our small businesses, our membership is small business. We represent small business in healthcare, tax policy, regulatory issues,
Giovanni,
the unions.
Then
Who's leading the charge? Let me ask you one thing.
Let me ask you a question, Lloyd. Let him ask a question.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
First of all, big businesses are already unionized. Small businesses are not. We're leading the charge on card check. What have you done for card check?
That's
which
not
is
what
a
I
number
do.
one issue.
What have you
Number
done
one
for
issue for
breast
small
cancer? That's not
businesses
what you
against
do.
the unions. Free enterprise. What have you done? You have a few
That's not what I
members,
do, Giovanni.
and you use the cloak of small business to make you think people think that you have this great organization. It's a sham.
Baloney.
Let's face it, Lloyd, it's a sham.
Lloyd, you don't think union issues are going to end up also hitting small businesses, especially given this administration?
Well, again, just notice how he won't answer the question.
Well, you're not answering his. You guys are one for one
okay,
now.
My question is, why don't I do something about unionization? That's not what I do. I represent small businesses that try to do business with the federal government and government contractors.
Businesses. You represent a very handful in a very niche market. We represent all business, and we do it very well.
Again, congratulations. Notice how he won't answer the simple yes or no question. Will you support a bill in Congress right now that will stop the flow of federal small business contracts to Fortune 500 corporations?
Support.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Okay. But I must say, you guys are one for one on the questions. We'll have you back. Lloyd and Giovanni, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron.
We appreciate you both. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Okay.